Hi guys, welcome back to another video on Next.js 14. This video is a bit different from my previous videos because in this video I'm building an OLX scraper, and scrapping means web scraping. Web scraping means that without using APIs of any platform, it automatically opens up the pages of different websites and analyze the data on that page and then bring and return the data from that page. So in this OLX scrapper, I have actually scrapped the title, price, description, and the features which are added on this page. So let me copy the URL of any product on OLX and I'm going to paste over here and click on the scrap, and you can see that it opens up this page. You can see that it's not using API. It is behaving like a real human being is accessing the website and checking out the title, what is the price, what is the description, and what are the different features of this product on OLX. And you can see that this is what it returned: the title, price, description, and these are all the features. And along with that, it has given us the link which we can click on, and this is just an example to know that which product it's scrapped. So we can click on and check another product. So I'm going to click on that. I can click on this particular button. We can actually disable this window as well if we want it to scrap the data automatically behind the scenes. It is just showing you that how it is going to analyze this particular page. Okay, so once it will be completed, you can see that it automatically showing up over here. And along with scrapping logic, which I'm going to show you in this video, I'm going to build up this awesome UI. This is actually a responsive UI. It can work on mobile devices. You can see that. And it can work on the desktop devices as well. And one main feature, after you scrap the data, we can click on the export, and it is going to export all the data which have been scrapped. And I'm going to click on OK. If I come back to my code, you can see that this is the file name which I have given to it, mydata.json, and you can see that this is the exported format. And the procedure which I'm going to show you, you can export this data in any other format as well, in CSV, in Excel, in JSON format. Currently I have exported it in JSON. So this video is going to show you all the major concepts, all the things which you would need to write a scrapper, a web scrapper, for any kind of data on any page. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to be creating a new Next.js 14 project from scratch so that I can explain you each and everything step by step. So I've opened up an empty folder in my VS Code. So I'm going to create a new Next.js 14 project by writing npx create next app like this at latest. Space dot means I don't want to create any new folder inside it. So I'll hit enter, and I'm going to go with the TypeScript. Yes. I'm going to go with the ESLint, Tailwind CSS. This is what I will be using in this project to make the UI and make the UI responsive. So I will hit yes. Source directory, I'm going to go no. App router, yes, this is very important because this is what the Next.js 14 is all about. And yes, no. So it is actually installing all the dependencies required to run the Next.js project. I hope that you have some understanding of how the Next.js 13 or 14 app directory works. If you don't know, you want to learn everything about Next.js 13 and Next.js 14, I have created a lot of videos. You can see that this is its names the 13, but the 13 version and 14 version, there is no difference. There is a bit different, but not about creating files, how the folder structure actually happens in both the versions. You can see that I've created this crash course, I've created these blog applications, all the different concepts that you would need to become a good Next.js 14 developer. You can learn from my channel, and there is another playlist as well. You can learn pretty much everything from my videos: debugging, performance, SEO, crash course, building blog application, building e-commerce app, theming, pretty much everything, PWA, making things responsive. So you can check that out. So let's get back, and it has created this project. First of all, let me verify if my project is working. So npm run dev. So it's actually running over here, and I'm going to go, this is actually the old UI. I'm going to refresh this page, localhost colon 3000, and let's see if it shows the default UI provided by Next.js. Yes, our project is working. So it's time to start working on the files. So I'm going to open up this app directory. First of all, I'm going to remove everything from the global.css file except the top 3 lines. Okay, so let me save it. and I'm gonna go over here, and I'm going to change the background color of it. First of all, let's verify. You can see that it has happened like this. I'm going to add the background color, so I'm going to change it to this format. All right, and then I'm going to write bg neutral, and this is going to be 270% for this particular color, and for it to work we can actually put it inside these curly braces. So let me verify if the color changed. Yes, there is a gray color. So I'm going to remove everything inside it. So let's remove this div as well, and this div as well. So we only have this main empty tag. So I'm going to go over here. There is nothing inside it. So this is everything we need to remove from the existing folder structure and the code inside it. So inside this main element, if we go over here, we need to actually add the header OLX scrapper at the top. So I'm going to write h1, and it is going to have this text OLX scrapper. All right, so let's refresh. So it should show up at the top of the page, and you can see that it's showing over here. We need to add some CSS styles to it as well. So I'm going to add class name, and I'm going to write absolute width full text center. And now I need to add background gray 800, padding y 400, text 3xl, font bold, text white, top 0. And let's see if it makes any change. Yes, you can see that it has made this OLX scrapper at the top, and let me verify if it becomes responsive as well or not. Yes, it remains at the center. All right, we are going good. Now I would like to modify few classes of the main tag, because the content below this needs to have some margin from left and right and the top. So I will be coming over here. We need flex, and actually we don't need this min height screen. Flex column, item center, justify between, and I would like to add few padding from left and right. Padding X means from left and right. And then I would like to add the padding only from top. Okay, and then I would like to add, this is what I'm making responsive. So this padding is for mobile devices. Okay, and then I'm adding this LG, means that this padding is going to be applied when our viewpoint is going to be on the desktop screens that have this large resolution. So I'm going to add PX 40. So on mobile screen it would be 4, on large screens it would be 40. And then I'm going to add padding top on the large screen is going to be 28, and on the XL it is going to be even greater than on the extra high resolution screens. I'm going to add padding from left and right. So I'm going to add save this file. So you will not see any difference because there is no content yet inside it. All right, so now below this OLX scrapper I will be adding this div, and then I will be adding this class name, width full, margin bottom 8. Okay, so this is going to contain a component, and I'm going to name this component search bar at the top. All right, it is not existing currently, so I'm going to create a new folder parallel to this app directory, and this is going to be called components. Let's create a new file inside it, and I'm going to name it search.tsx. all right, use those snippets extension of the VS Code, and I'm going to change its name now. So this is going to be the search bar, and this is going to be the search bar. And for now, let's add search, and let's first go ahead and I'm going to try importing this from the component. You can see that error is gone, and it should show this text over here. All right, so currently let me verify if those mobile responsive checks which I added is actually working or not. So you can see that on mobile there is a less margin on left and right. If I increase the space, you will see that the left and right margin are increasing even more. This is awesome. And here search bar, I'm gonna go inside it, and this is where I will be adding most of my code to scrap the data. Actually, I'll be creating the server-side code as well, because Next.js support server-side code. So first of all, I'm going to add few classes over here. So class name, and I'm going to add flex column. On large screen it is going to be the flex row, because on smaller screens I want the search bar and the buttons after that to be on the separate lines. On the large screen we can have it on a single line. So flex row, and then width full. Items is going to be on the left side, gap equals to 3. All right, so let's remove it and add a few things over here. So first of all I'm going to add this input. So let's add few Tailwind CSS classes with full. Padding on all the 4 sides is going to be 3. Border is going to be 4, and border color is going to be the neutral 200. Okay, it is a bit lighter. So rounded equals to large, and text is going to be the gray and then the 500. All right, so now after that we can have this type text placeholder search for an OLX product to scrap. All right, I'm using this tab none AI assistant. It is an awesome extension of VS Code. You can install it. It suggests you different code snippets while you are writing it in VS Code. So this is the placeholder, and I need to actually create. First of all, let me verify if this search bar visible. Yes, you can see that it is looking great. It has this awesome border as well. All right, so above this I'm going to create a state management variable using use state hook. So I'm going to write this one. This is going to be the search prompt, and set search prompt equals to use state is going to be coming from the React, and by default it is going to have this empty string. All right, so let's come back below this placeholder, and I will be adding a value, search prompt, and then I will be adding the on change. I know you have an idea how these things work in React. So arrow function set search prompt, this is going to be added in this variable as we keep on writing something inside this. So there seems an error. Let's see. Use state search prompt. Let me see. Let me refresh. Let me hard refresh it. So you are importing a component that needs use state. It only works in the client. Oh, sorry guys. I need to add use client at the top, because in Next.js, whenever we try to add any input tags that require user interaction, it can be a button, it can be an input, and also all the hooks work inside the client component. By default, all the components in Next.js 13 or 14, those are server side, but in order to make it client side, we need to write use client at the top. If I refresh now, you can see that this is how it's working. And after that, we need to add the button, couple of buttons actually. So let's add this below this input. Actually below, yes, we have added this flex column. So first of all, I will be adding this main div, which will be containing both of these buttons. So let's first add the button using this button tag. And first of all, I will be adding a class name. All right. So this class is going to have classes. I'm going to write it like this because later on we will be adding few conditions as well. So here I'm going to add the cursor pointer. On hover, I want cursor to be changed to pointer. And then I will be adding this one, BG gray 800. And then I will be adding width, this is going to be 150 pixels. Disabled, when it is disabled, I want button color to be 400. Okay, and then it is going to be rounded medium. Then it is going to be padding X on left and right. It is going to be the 5, padding Y is going to be 3, and text is going to be the white. All right, so we need to close this one, and inside it, let me add is loading, which I need to create yet. So scrapping dot dot dot. If it is not loading, then I will be adding only scrap. So let's first create this is loading variable, actually the state variable at the top. So I'm going to copy this variable and I'm going to paste over here. So this is going to be is loading, set is loading. All right, so by default button is not going to be loading. All right, so let's save it, and you can see that this is how it's looking. So there is an alignment issue if you see closely, which I think I need to fix. So for that, I'm going to come over here and add a class to this div. Okay, so in this div, I'm going to add flex, I'm going to add gap 2, and then I'm going to add flex 2. So let's save it, and now you can see that it is aligned properly with this. It has a border as well, so that is fine. And now here I'm going to add few conditions on this button. If it is scrapping or it is loading, then we want to change the cursor to pointer. All right, so in order to do that, I'm going to add it like this. So inside it, I can write dollar, and I can write if there is a search prompt. Search prompt is actually if it is empty and if it is not loading. All right, then this cursor pointer is going to work. Otherwise, it is not going to work. All right, and we need to actually close it like this. Let's save it, and this is how the condition is looking like. If I refresh this page, you can see that this search bar is empty, and it is not even loading as well. So this is not disabled, so we need to add the disabled property as well. So I'm going to add the disabled property, and this is going to be if search prompt is equals to empty or is loading. All right, if I save it now, you will see that it is disabled. This is awesome. And if I try to write something in this search bar, you can see that it is enabled now. And currently I have not implemented the scrapping logic yet. So if it is loading, then this is going to be disabled again, and the text is going to be changed to scrapping because of this. So currently we don't have that. So let's add an on click. So on click, and this is going to call a function handle submit, which I need to create yet. Before I create this function, let's try to copy this button, and I'm going to paste this button below. All right, if there should be an error, yes. So in order to see the UI, let's create that function first of all at the top. So below these state variables, I'm going to add handle submit arrow function, and like this. So I'm going to pass an event of type any, and then I'm going to add e.prevent default, and I'm going to add set is loading equals to true, and then I will be adding try and catch block error like this. And we have this error. We don't need to do anything, so we can simply log that error over here. Okay, and finally, once this process is done, we can write is loading equals to false. So currently there is no scrapping logic over here, scrapping logic which I yet need to create. So if I save it, you will see that the error is gone. If I go over here, you will see that this particular thing is actually disabled because we have the same logic. So first of all, I'm going to add this button to export. Okay. And I'm actually going to remove everything because it is going to confuse me. Now I'm going to start writing bg gray 800, and this is going to be disabled. If it is disabled, then I'm going to add bg gray 400, and then I'm going to add rounded md. Shadow equals to extra small, actually xs actually. Padding 5, padding y 3, and text is going to be white. All right, so let's see. You can see that this is the width of the button. So this is the disabled logic. So this is not going to work. Search prompt, it is not related to search prompt. I want to check if there are any products already scrapped below. If there are any products exist below, then I'm going to enable this button. So first of all, I'm going to go at the top and I'm going to create a state variable. So const products. This is not going to be state variable. This is going to be a state from the Zustand store. Zustand is an awesome. I have a separate video for it. That is a global state management system. Okay, so this is going to be the products from Zustand, which I yet need to create. Products equals to empty array. First of all, I'm going to store an empty array for now. And I'm gonna come over here, and this is going to check if products.length exists, or if it is not loading. This scrapping logic is not loading, the products are already scrapped, then I'm going to disable this button, change the color as well. So this is going to be disabled not products.length and is loading, then this is going to be disabled. And I'm going to add the logic over here as well. I'm going to remove everything because I will be creating a new function later on to scrap the data. All right, so let me remove this, and coming over here, I'm going to check with this sign products.length and not is loading question mark cursor pointer, otherwise empty string. Let's close this. Okay, so there seems error, so I need to add this one over here. I'm going to create a new component which is going to show all the products data, and the same component is going to show the error message that no products exist or no products scrapped. All right, so for now we are good with this component. First of all, I'm going to check if it is responsive. Yes, you can see that the buttons is coming below when the screen is smaller. When the screen is larger, button are going on the right side on the same row. All right, awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a store. So this is going to be, we can say, a hook. So I'm going to create a hooks folder, and inside it, I'm going to create a new OLX products.ts. This is going to be storing the local data, but the data which is going to be stored in this inside this particular Zustand store can be accessible in all the components, all the files of this project. Okay, so in the terminal, first of all, I'm going to install Zustand. So this is the spelling of it. You need to install it. So first of all, I'm going to import one very important function from Zustand, create. This is going to be from and Zustand. All right, and after that we can create a store. I have a separate video, the advanced Zustand state management system. In that video, I've created a complete CRUD application using Zustand. So you can check that out if you want to learn a full-fledged Zustand state management system. And this is going to be like this. And inside it, I'm going to create a variable products empty array and then I'm going to add products. I don't need to edit products, I don't need to delete products. As I showed you at the start of this video, I gave you the demo. So product any, and then it is going to be having this arrow function, and then this is going to take the set state any arrow, and then it is going to take all the products which we have added products, and we can actually use the spread operator, state dot products comma and then the product. All right, so this is the simplest logic that we have created, and in order to use it in all the components, it means that if one component is updating this products array, the other component can actually use this function to get all the products. And this is how cool this Zustand is, and we don't need to wrap any layout or create any context provider like context API or Redux store. So that's why this is so awesome. All right, so this is pretty much it for this file, and now we can actually go over here and we can fetch these products from the Zustand store. So in order to do that, we actually need to import that hook, but it will be automatically imported. So const products equals to use store coming from the Zustand. It is going to automatically imported, and then it is going to be like this. So state any arrow function state dot products. So it is showing some kind of error. Let's hover over it. So argument of type state. So this is actually imported from the Zustand. We don't want it to be imported from Zustand. So I'm going to write use store like this, and this is going to be coming from the OLX product which we have created. I'm going to remove it, and now I'm going to write it again. So use store from hooks OLX. All right, so now you can see that there is no error over here, and similar thing, we can copy it and we can actually import the add product function as well from the same. So add product, which will be coming from that Zustand store, which is not being used currently. So let's come back inside this handle submit function inside this try block. And I'm going to be creating an action, and that is going to be a server-side code. We can use the use server string at the top of that file, which is a very important and very awesome feature of Next.js, that we can use write a server-side code as well as the client-side code in Next.js. So here we can actually call a particular function which I have yet to create. So I can write the scrap OLX products, and then we can pass the search prompt, which is going to be a state variable, this one. All right, and we can log this out over here, product, and we can call the add product function and pass that product which is returned from that function. And this is the add product function coming from that Zustand store that we have created. Once this process is done of fetching the data, we can actually set search prompt empty. We want to make the search prompt empty from inside. So I think that's pretty much it we need to do in this particular file. And yes, we need to write the async over here because we are using await actually over here handle submit. So async. All right, so let's create this function, and I'm going to create a new folder, and this is going to be actions. And inside this folder, I can create a new file, and this is going to be the scrap products.ts. Okay, so inside this particular file, first of all, I will be using the server-side code because I need to use Puppeteer that can be used with the node, and the server-side node packages can only be used when we write the use server string at top of this file. Otherwise, it will be considered as a client component. And so I'm going to first of all import Puppeteer, which I yet need to install. So So this is the spelling of it. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to install it by writing its name in my terminal. All right. And I will also be needing this one revalidate path from the next cache because this is going to refresh the page automatically when the new product is scrapped. Okay, so here we can write the export async function scrap. Let me copy the name of that function which we have written over here, scrap olx product, and this is going to receive URL string like this. Okay, and this is going to have this try catch block like this. All right, and in the try catch we can simply log the error and simply return null, and for now I'm simply returning null from here as well so that the error can be removed. And you can also see that this error is gone because we have successfully installed Puppeteer. So let's go over there and we need to import that. So I'm going to write the scrap olx products from the actions, and this error is gone. This is awesome. Now I'm gonna go and I'm going to use this Puppeteer. This is the main part of this video. This video actually teach you the Tailwind CSS, creating UI and scrapping the products. So inside this try block, I'm first going to write few lines of code. This one is very important. First of all, we need to launch, and inside it we can pass few properties. We need to pass the headless equals to true, or headless equals to false, or headless equals to I believe we can write the new as well over here. Okay, so for now I'm going to write headless false. All right, so after this I'm going to create a new page, and this is going to be browser new page, and then I'm going to wait for the navigation. So when we are launching a particular page, we need to wait. Sometimes the internet gets slower or internet having a good speed, so we need to consider both of these things here. So I will be writing the const navigation promise equals to page dot wait for navigation, and wait until network idle. We can write 0 over here, and we can write the timeout as well. If we don't write timeout in the slower internet, it will cause problems. So I'm going to write the maximum value inside it. Okay, so this is going to be like, you can say, a 2 minutes. So after this we can actually go to a particular URL which is going to be passed from here, and as promises we can also write wait until network idle 0, and we can also write the timeout value over here as well for navigating to that particular page. Okay, so after this we don't need to actually import the jQuery, but jQuery provides us a lot of built-in functions that are better than, I believe. To me, I find it more flexible when using jQuery rather than writing the JavaScript document.getElement by ID or get element by class name. We can use the JavaScript built-in functions as well, but I will be using the jQuery over here. So for using the jQuery, we need to add a script. So this is the syntax for adding the script: await page add script tag, and this is the URL that we are importing from. So await. After this, we need to await for navigate promise, which we have written over here. Okay. After that, we can actually check if the jQuery is successfully imported. I'm just adding different validations. These are not actually required. So if jQuery is successfully imported, that we are going to proceed. Otherwise, we are going to throw an error that jQuery is not loaded. So this is the line of code that you can write by pausing this video. So const is jQuery loaded await page evaluate, and then this part is important, and this is the error. All right, so this particular code which I have written so far in this try block is necessary for every kind of scrapping that you will be doing in your scrapping logic. If you want to use jQuery actually, okay? So this is common for all kind of scrapping logic. And next we are specifically going to focus on the OLX products now. So here I'm going to write const data equals to await page dot evaluate like this, and inside it we can actually scrap the data. So tab 9 is actually assisting and suggesting me few things, but this is not correct. I'm going to create few variables. What we need to do, we need to import the title, okay, and we need to import the price. From the OLX page we need to import the description, and we need to import the features. This is going to be of type string array equals to this array, okay, and we are going to simply return the title, price, description, and then the features. Outside this data we can stop that browser of Puppeteer, and we have to revalidate path as well, which we have imported above. It is going to automatically refresh the page. We need to write the path that is going to show all the products, and then we can actually return the data, but we also need to return the URL which is scrapped from here. Although URL will always be, I think, already available over here, search prompt, but you know that we are actually making this empty. So this is just to show you that how we can actually manage sending the URL from here. All right, so I'm going to remove this particular line, and let's go over here, and this product should be returning the empty data. For now I have not written any logic over here. This is very important and need your focus. So let's first scrap the title of that product. So I'm going to open up any specific product, and what we need to do is I'm going to right click to the title which I think is the title of this particular product. Let me bring it like this. You can see that this particular title have this class A38B811, and I'm going to verify the class name of this product as well, okay, so that I know that the title exists in the same class which I'm actually focusing on. All right, so this is the class name. Let me copy this class name actually, and we can use this class name to get the inner text of this particular h1. There is another thing which I need to make sure. So I'm just going to copy this class name, and I'm going to find that any other element should not have the same class, because if I try to scrap the data of the same class name, and that class name might be existing elsewhere in this particular page, it can be existing in the footer, so I will not be able to fetch the correct title if I use the class name which is duplicating at multiple places, and one place it is using for title, another place it is using for the title of description, maybe the features. So I'm just verifying it. So this is the title which is the class name, okay, and then this is, let me verify. So I think this is just the compiled data. We can use this particular class name. So I'm going to copy the class name, and I'm going to come back to my code, and this is the title. So let's use jQuery. I hope that you have an idea how we can use the jQuery, and we can add the class name over here. And another thing I would like to mention, it's better to use the tag name as well, because if the same class name can be used with other elements as well, and in case the same class name is used in another p tag, so that p tag will not be included even though the class name is same. So we are making sure that the class name exists on h1 should have the title fetched from. So I can write the h1 from here. All right, and then I can write the text and then we can trim as well. Okay, so I'm going to save it, and there seems, and I can't find do you install the definition, so let's ignore that for now. When we'll run our project, we'll see if it throws an error or not. Maybe we have not run the project, so it is not loading the jQuery for now. So, and in case there is another h1 that have a same class name, but one includes the title and another includes something else, but we want to title, then we are going to go back to the parent and we are going to match that the parent should be different. If that is same as well, we are going to come back to the grandparent, and then we can actually come select the parent element, then we are going to select the children of it. Then this is how the jQuery work. I'm not teaching jQuery over here, so when we'll come back to the features, you will have a better idea. For the price, I'm going to right click to the price, and it has this particular class name in the span. So I'm going to copy the class name for this price, and I'm going to use that class name. So $, and this is the span element dot, and I'm going to paste that class name. So this is going to be the parentheses actually. Okay, so again, text and then the trim. Okay, so let's go back and let's copy the description. So I'm going to right click, inspect, and this is, I think, the class name for, actually I'm going to open this up. So I think 0f1, so I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to, when we are going to call this particular function text, it's going to ignore the children span element. It's only going to focus on this particular text. So let's copy this one, and I'm going to write the dollar, and this is going to be, we are only going to use the class name for now. All right, so let's add the text and then the trim. For now, let's leave the features empty. Let's save this file and let's run the project. Let's see if it throws an error or not. And in the search component, we are already calling this particular function. We are logging the product. We are not showing the product at the moment below this search bar. We can actually right click and we can go to the console window. This is where it will export the data for that product. So let me copy this URL. Let me paste that URL. You can see that it has actually enabled this scrapped product, and the project is running as well. Let me refresh this so that we know that the project is running. It is compiling. Okay, so let me copy again and paste over here. Let's click on the scrap. It should open up that particular page. Yes, it has opened up successfully. This is great. Now we need to wait for this so that it detect the title, price, and the description based upon the class names that we have added to it. All right, so you can see that it has actually exported this description, exported this price and the title, and also the URL. This is awesome. We are successfully scrapping the data for that particular product, except features. Obviously, we know that we are returning, and I'm using the Console Ninja extension, and we can see the title, price, and description being shown over here along with this URL. All right, and this is going to add the product in our Zustand store as well, but we are not seeing yet because we have not created the products component to show the data below this search bar. All right, this is awesome. Now let's go back to the scrap products and let's ignore this one. We can actually, let me hover over it. All right, so we actually need to install this particular thing, and I think it will be removing this particular error. The types jQuery needs to be installed. Yes, you can see that it has actually removed that. Meanwhile, let me run the project again, and I'm going to go over here. And one more thing I would like to mention to you guys, that all the products of OLX, since this is an international level website, its coding structure is pretty good, and most of the site who is a good developer build the sites with the proper format. So all the titles of all the products will be having the same class name. If the website is built with a bad code structure, then that website is hard to scrap, because there might be a chance that one product have the title having different class, and another product having the title within the different class name. So for each product you need to write a separate scrapper, separate class name, separate logic over here. So but the good websites, I think 99% of sites will be following the same class name, same coding structures, but sometimes it's hard. You have to make sure all the products, all the lists, all the data having the same class name. Otherwise you need to make a check. If this is this, then use this class name. If there is another logic being verified, then you need to use another class name. So this is just I'm just giving you the tip. So now let's come back to this feature. I'm going to right click to the features, and here you can see that we have these class names for this. So I'm not going to use this class name, although all the features having the same class name. I'm going to use the parent class name. This is the parent class name, and jQuery gives us a children function. We can iterate through all the children of this particular div, and we can fetch the inner text of each children element which can be existing in the parent div element. So I'm just going to copy this particular class name of this div. Let's come back to over here, and now I'm going to use this $sign of the jQuery, and I'm going to write the class name of the parent. All right, and jQuery gives us this children function, and children, once these are fetched at this particular point, we have access to all the child span elements of this class. Okay, and here we can actually check each function, and then this is going to be storing the features. We have already created the features variable, question mark push, and then this part, each function gives us a built-in keyword that is called this. Okay, and this is referring to each span element. Okay, and then we can write the text, and we can write the trim as well if you want, but we are not going to do that at the moment. All right, so now features is going to contain all the features as well. All right, so I think we are good to go. And let's save this file. Let's go. Let's refresh this so that everything is up to date. Although Next.js automatically refreshes the website, but in case it does not, let's go to the second product. We have scrapped this before. Let's reload this third one so that it works on all the websites. So I'm going to paste the URL. Let's click on the scrap, and it's going to scrap. You can also see that at the back it has been converted to the scrapping. This is awesome. This is what we added the logic in our search component. So it's taking some time. It depends upon the internet as well. It depends upon the speed of this website as well. So here you can see that we have got the 7 features coming in. Let me verify if there are 7 features. Yes, there are 7 features over here. This is awesome. We are successfully scrapping the data. Now we need to create a UI component so that we can show the results below this. So I'm gonna go and create a new component, and this is going to be called products.tsx. Let's use the React snippets, RAFCE products. Right, so first of all, inside it, I will be using the Zustand to fetch all the products. This is the benefit of that Zustand. So use store coming from the hooks OLX. All right, so state of type any, and the state products. All right, and we don't need to pass these products to print this out from the parent components. It automatically done. First of all, let's add this one. First of all, I'm going to add the class name width equals to full with respect to parents, and I'm going to check if the products dot length is greater than 0 question mark, and I'm going to write an empty string over here, then this one and this. Okay, so inside it we can actually write the p tag. Let's add the p tag, and I'm going to write the class name text center, And we can make this text gray as well. Gray, let's give it 600, and inside this p tag we can write no products exists. All right, so let's save it. All right, so and inside it we are going to show the data if there are any products exist in our store. All right, so we can write div, let's close it, and inside this div I can write the space y and 4. So inside this div we can iterate through all the products. So products dot map product of type any, and this is going to be an arrow function, and we can pass the index as well. So we can add the key prop which is required by the products.map function. So after this we can let's close this one as well, like this. All right, and here we are going to check if product dot title exists. Sometimes our logic in our scrap products can throw an error that we are not able to scrap the product because of the slower internet, and if the title exists, title is scrapped, it means that it successfully scrapped the other data as well. Okay, so that's why we are only making check on the title. If title exists, then we are going to show the data and for the price, description and the feature. Okay, otherwise we are not going to show that particular data. So we can actually write the null here as well. So there seems an error, so I'm going to add a div. Let's close this div as well. All right, so inside this div I'm going to write the key. This is going to be the index, and I'm going to write the class name as well. So this is going to be the border 4, border neutral 200, and bg white, padding 5, rounded large. All right, so now inside this div I'm going to write another div. So this particular div is going to contain the title and the link. Okay, so let's add the title first of all inside the h3. This is going to be the product dot title. All right, so after this title I'm going to add few classes as well, but for now let's add href, and this is going to be the product .url, and the second prop is going to be the rel. This is actually required no opener and the no referrer, and then we can add the class name. We can have the hover bg gray 100, border px3, py1, ml2, rounded md, and height I can give it to 35 pixels. Okay, so this is the anchor tag, and it has this href. It has we can give the target to it as well, so that whenever we click on it, it opens up on a new tab of our browser. And I'm going to select the link from my emojis, so I can search the link from here. We can select this one, so it is going to be visible over here. All right, so it's visible. Let's try to give few classes to it. So class name flex, w full, items top, and justify between. Okay, let's give the class name to it as well. So text is equal to the extra large, font equals to the bold, text gray equals to 800. All right, so Before moving further and start printing the features, I'm going to verify if it works or not, but we need to add this product somewhere. I'm going to add this product in my page. So let's add it below this one. So products coming from the components. All right. So there seems an error below. No modules saying external selector development use ref. Okay. Since we need to use the use client at the top on our products component, so use client, as I've mentioned, by default all the components are the server side components. All right, so now let's verify if we are able to see the products over here. Currently it's showing no products exists. So the reason we use client because we are using hook. Whenever we need to use hook, we need to make it use client. I would like to add question mark because if there are no products exist, then we are not going to process this product.title. Let's save it. Let's refresh this page. Let's copy one of the URL of any product and I'm going to paste it over here and I'm going to click on scrap now. So it is going to open up that URL and yes, it has opened that up and it should be scrapping all the data, but it should show the title and the link at the moment because this is what we are showing over here at the moment. So let's see. So I think it has to complete depending upon the internet connection and the speed of website as well. Let's see. Currently it's still showing the scrapping, means that the scrapping is still in process. All right guys, so it's showing all the data over here, but it's showing the title and the link is going to be the same link which we have scrapped. All right, so we have successfully scrapped the data. Now let's quickly add the price, description and the features over here. So for that, I'm going to add a p tag over here. I'm just going to copy that so that the time is not wasted. So here you can see that I've added the p tag with these classes and added the product dot price. And after this, we need to add the description. So let's add the p tag over here with the product dot description with slightly different class names over here. And after this, we need to add the couple of divs below this p tag. Let me close these divs as well, like this. All right, so inside this particular div, I'm going to iterate through all the products. So inside the product question mark, and we have the features inside it, and then we have this map. And inside this map, we have the feature and then the index. So feature of type any, feature index. This is what we can add. So let's add index of type number over here. Let's add the parentheses and inside it, we can add the span tag. Okay. Span is going to show the feature name, which is the string which automatically going to be added. The reason it's giving error because we need to add this index. Okay, so now we need to add one last thing, which is the class name to it. So I'm going to add the classes to save our time directly over here. All right, so this is the classes. It has the background blue, few paddings, margin, inline block, round. So this is how it's going to show up this data. We have added all the different validations. So now let's go ahead and verify this over here. All right, so it automatically showing this up over here because the data was already existing in the local storage. Local storage means, I mean to say, the Zustand local storage. And another thing, you can see that export button is enabled because there is at least one product in the Zustand store. That's why this export button is enabled. But currently clicking on it will not do anything. If we go over search component, this is the button and we have not added any function to it. This is the last thing that we need to do over here. So let's do that. First of all, I'm going to go up and I'm going to create a new function. And this is going to be export products async, like this. All right. And here I'm going to write await export data, which I yet need to create. This is going to be existing in the same action scrap products that I have created. I can create a separate file as well, but for now I'm going to move it inside. So here it is. Let me add an alert as well, exported. Okay, we can use the toast libraries to show the toasts which you can use, but for now that's not our purpose. Catch console log error. All right, so let's copy this one, and I'm going to add the export products over here on click. All right, and now it should be clickable. Now let's go ahead and click on the export data. First of all, let's try to write the export data over here as well, which is not existing. So let's come over here. So let me copy this particular line, and let's come back here, and I'm going to paste this line, and I'm going to change the function name to export data, and it is going to take the data from the search component of type any. Let's go and verify if the error is gone. Yes, error is gone now. So inside it, first of all, I'm going to use a package of Node. This is going to be called fs package. Okay, so we can use the fs from fs. We don't need to install it because on the server side, Node automatically have a built-in package called fs. Fs means file system. We can fetch the data from any files. We can create new files. We can store the data in any files. It provides a lot of built-in functions. Okay, so here what we can do is we can again, let's add try catch block, which is very important. Console.error equals to error. Okay, so now I'm going to write the JSON content. This is how the fs module works. So we need to pass the stringified data. So stringified data, we can actually add these optional params here as well. All right, so fs dot, let me show you. These are all the functions that it provides. These are very useful, and we can write the right file. We can name any file name to it. So data.json, this is the name I've given to it. Let's give the JSON content, and after that let's give the type to it UTF-8, and also finally we are having this error. In case there is an error, then we are simply going to print or return the error from here while exporting the data. Otherwise, if there is no error, we can simply log the data. It's up to us. We can push the data in our database. If we are linked to the database in our application, we can store the data in Excel file. It's up to us. All right, so console log JSON file have been created, all right, or updated. So let me save it. Let's go to the search, let's go to the page, and let's go over here. It should be automatically refreshed unless and until I don't hard refresh the page. The Zustand store is not going to get empty. Now I'm going to click on the export. Okay, it is showing exported. This is good. I'm gonna go, and here it has created this file, JSON file, data.json. I'm gonna click on that, and here you can see that it is showing the title, price, description, features, and URL. Why it is not showing the price, and it is showing the null as well? Let me verify this. It's not showing the price over here as well. Let's see. It was not able to fetch the price. Okay, I'm going to scrap another data now. So let me copy this URL. Let's add this one, and I'm going to click on scrapping, and it needs to open up the URL. Let's wait for it. Let's see what happens. Meanwhile, it's scrapping. Let's go over here. Does it contain? So currently it does not have the price. That's why it didn't show the price. The internal data of that element in our DOM was empty. So they have not mentioned any price on that particular class name. Okay, so I'm gonna go. So this is in progress. Let's see. uh, and let's also verify whether it had the price. Yes, it had the price. Let's go over here, and yes guys, you can see that it is showing the price over here, and it is showing the features, and because it contained the price. All right, uh, before adding the price, we can add the random data over here. It's up to us. Now let's click on the export. That file should be updated. The function which I have used over here, it updates that file. You can see that it has exported. Let's click on that, and here you can see that uh, it is actually showing the price data. I don't know why it is showing this null in between. So let me try once more by hard refreshing this page so that the Zustand store gets empty, and I'm going to scrap the data again. Let's click on the scrap, and I believe that I didn't hard reload, so sometimes in between it returned null because I'm returning null from here. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's go back, and it should show the data, and after once it scrapped the data, I'm going to click on the export button, and it's going to update this data.json. Let me remove this file as well, and show the so that it gets created again. Okay, so this has been added. Let's export and scrap this data as well before we can export couple of products data. Okay, so once this is being done, again I'm going to explain you that you can process this logic, you can process this functionality to any extent. So means that you can pass the URL for the list of products. Let's say if we go down, related add, so it can have different products. There can be the hundreds of products over here. You can go through the classes, you can add the loop, you can iterate through all the loop data, and you can fetch that products and upload to the database. So currently if we go back, you can see that the couple of products have been exported. Let's click on export, so it quickly exported. Click OK. Let's go back and see data.json. Let's go over here. So there is no null. I was right. So it is showing the data perfectly. All right, and we can export the data in CSV format. You can check out the documentation of FS module that we have used over here. It provides a lot of built-in functions that you can export in almost every format, this data. There are few more tips that I want to give you guys over here. So you know that the OLX is a very big website. It's the e-commerce, I would say this is the website, and there are other websites like the Amazon, Google, Facebook. These websites have the security checks added on it. Means that whenever a bot is trying to access these websites, they detect that our website is continuously being accessed by the bots. Currently I have used it for like 5-6 products, not much, but if the bot is accessing their website for dozens of time, maybe hundreds of times, they detect and they ban the IP, the network IP, the internet IP from accessing their websites. Okay, so but that kind of security check is not added on smaller websites. The local, they don't care about like security is important. The scrapping that we have written is a kind of bot, because this is not a real human being who is accessing their website. It is the bot that we have written who is accessing their website. So to avoid this restriction from the big website to access, because web scrapers needs to scrap the data from thousands of products from OLX, from Amazon, from Google Store, from any website. Okay, so there is something called proxy servers. If I write proxy server for web scrapping, okay, so you will see a lot of proxy servers added. So along with this Puppeteer, which I have used, we will be adding some credentials for the tools for the proxy servers that we need to use in order to scrap the data. So what proxy server does is they keep on changing the IP addresses while scraping the data whenever a new page is opened or launched over here. They keep on changing the IP. So it does this because the main website should not be able to detect that this is the bot who is accessing the website, because IPs keep on changing from different locations of the world. So if the IPs keep on changing, they will not be able to detect that this is being accessed by bot, and they will not be able to block any particular IP from accessing their websites. This part I have not included in this tutorial because I didn't want to make this tutorial longer. One very famous is Oxy Labs. I would suggest you guys should check this out. It is not difficult to add Oxy Labs or any proxy servers along with your Puppeteer configuration. You just need to create an account. You just need to add maybe username, password while launching the page, or maybe you need to add some ports. Other than Oxy Labs, there is a very famous Bright Data, which I use quite a lot, and Bright Data is a very good toolkit which you can use and configure along with your scrapper. But you can search out, there are a lot of proxy servers that you can use. Proxy server is very important if you want to scrap thousands of products from a single website. It can be Amazon, it can be the Alibaba, AliExpress, OLX, or maybe the movies from Netflix. And but scrapping is important when you don't have APIs provided by the websites. API is an awesome thing to fetch the data from any website, but any website which does not have API, the only way is to scrap the data. This is what the search engines do. They scrap the data from different websites and show you the results. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any question about web scraping, you can ask me in the comment below. And one more thing I would like to mention here, that if you want any development services from me, you can check that the LinkedIn profile of mine in the description of this video. You can give me work. I can assist you. I can guide you in the technical decision making. I can give you my services in the software development. Just contact me on LinkedIn. The link is in the description of this video. So guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe my channel, and I'll be creating more videos in upcoming days. See you in the next video.